I want to take a moment and talk a little bit about submitting a Google Doc or another resource to Canvas using the website URL submission. Oftentimes when we have students do an assignment using Google Docs, we typically will have them submit it via a file upload. However, there are some advantages to submitting through a website URL. So here I am in Canvas, and I want to show you from the student perspective what this looks like. So I'm going to move over to that demo assignment that I've created, and I'm going to open that up as a student. And now when I go to submit this, you'll notice the submission type is a website URL. So as a student, I'm going to click on Submit Assignment. This gives me the window here to do that. You'll notice I have a space here to submit the assignment URL, the website URL. So I'm going to move up to my Google Doc that I want to use and grab the website URL and copy that. Move back to my assignment, and I will paste that in to this space. Now at this point I can go ahead and hit Submit Assignment, and that's going to turn it into my teacher. One thing to keep in mind though is your students will have to remember to go through the process of appropriately sharing before they submit. So they'll move up to the Share button, just as you've probably taught them to do before, and they'll need to go in and make sure that you have probably ideally editing access to this document. So they'll go ahead and just put that in there and submit this to you. At the very least, they would need to do view only access, but depending on the way you like to grade the assignments and provide feedback, editing or comment only access would probably be appropriate as well. So let's jump back now. I'm going to leave the student view, and I'm going to come back to the teacher view here just to kind of go through the steps of setting this up. So when you create a new assignment, you'll go in and you'll put all the normal details that you would put in before. You'd put in instructions, you'd put in resources and links out for the student, give them plenty of support that way. And then you'd go in and put your points and put it in the appropriate assignment group. But here, under submission type, you would select online. And then instead of what we traditionally do and do a file upload, you would select a website URL. And this is really the only thing that you need to change here. And then when you move down, you go ahead and do due dates and save, just like you typically would. Now you might be asking, where is the benefit to this? What does this do that submitting the other way doesn't? Well, when you submit using a file upload, Canvas basically takes a snapshot of whatever document it is the student is submitting, and that's what gets turned in. When you do that, you lose a lot of those great Google collaboration tools that we typically rely on. When you do it this way, you are submitting the live document. So you as the teacher can go back to the student document and actually provide feedback. You can use the comments, you could use suggesting edits, all of those tools we love about Google Docs. You could use those to provide feedback to your students and create that ongoing feedback cycle where you're really partnering with the student to build up whatever assessment they've turned in. Again, when you do just a traditional file upload, you lose some of that. Now there is one important consideration to take into account here. That is, if a student is submitting a live URL, in theory, they can continue to work on it. There is something we can do to kind of check that. Every single Google Doc does have a version history, and you can move down here to the File menu and go to the version history to be able to see when that document was edited. That's important to do if you are trying to get around the fact that some students may try to submit on time and then go through and actually make changes to the document after the due date. That is one of the benefits of that snapshot effect when Canvas takes that image. So I would encourage you to try this out. This is a great way to be able to continue the feedback process with your students through Google Docs and Canvas.